Well. What's going on, my good people of Zamundo? We are back in the building. It's your boy, DJ Richie Skye. Yes, we are back. We got some news to talk about today, okay? We're going to get into some things going on with Gizelle Bryant. Not looking too good for her right now. Just a little bit of information for you guys. A little bit of bad news about Gizelle right now. Then we got to talk about your girl Drew. Drew. She's got some thoughts about her altercation with LaToya. We're going to get into that. Then we got to talk about Tanya Sam and her relationship with Porsha Williams. What's going on with that? And then we're going to talk about the real tea that everybody really wants to get into. Is Porsha Williams really leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta? We're going to discuss. I ain't going to hold you guys too long today, but I want to know before we get into that, make sure you guys let me know in the chatterization where you guys are watching from. I like to shout y'all out. Bama in the place to be. We got singing in Savannah, Georgia. Hey, from Philly. What else we got? VA up in the house, San Antonio, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Long Beach, Cali, Oklahoma, New Jersey. What else we got? New Orleans. We got a chat right here already from Naya, who says Kenya was going hard on Porsha to make up for not telling Ish about her ongoings, and Porsha paid her dust just like those ankles dust. Love from B More. Thank you so much for that super chat. Harlem, New York, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Nashville, bam, Knoxville, Tampa, London, England in the place to be. BK Bronx. That's BX Bronx, Detroit, Jacksonville, Trinidad, B More, Namibia. I see y'all. Oh my God, all the people up in the place today. I see y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So let's go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty. First things first. First up on that good docket is your girl, Gizelle done broke her toe. Okay, she done broke her toe. Okay, no word on how she has broken this good toe. All right, the people over at the Good Daily Dish on Bravo then let us know that big toe, is done been broke. Okay, now she says broke my toe in 3 places. My new shoe is not sexy. Big pain. Now there is no word on exactly how she got this big toe broke. But what I want to know is the profits that she is running around with, did they tell her that the toe was going to be broke? That's what I want to know, because they didn't told her that LaToya was dating the prophet, but did they tell her that she was going to get the broke toe? That's what I want to know. That's the real profits right there, okay? We got profits and then we got making profits, but did they tell her she was going to get that toe broke? That's what I want to know. But, Gizelle, listen, I'm sure it's not going to stop her from creating all the mess that we need her to create on the Real Housewives of Potomac this season. We wish her luck on her journey to recovery, okay? And we pray that she is well, okay? Now, let's go ahead and move on. We got to move on over to your girl, Drew Sidora, okay? Let's talk about Drew. Now, Drew, she done went and she done had the conversations. She's doing the promotion and stuff like that. And she's talking about, whether or not she feels as though she needs to have any remorse for lunging at LaToya, okay? Now, that's the question that is on everybody's mind. Does she have any remorse for this? Because Drew is, godlike, okay? Drew is very, just the Christian of all Christians. And we all love the Lord. But, I feel like sometimes, and I love Drew. Actually, I like her a lot for this show. I think she's rough around the edges in some places. But sometimes I feel like she is a little holier than thou, okay? I feel like she's a little holier than thou. You know what I mean? So when it comes down time to whether or not she regrets the fact that it escalated between her and LaToya, mostly for her lunging at LaToya. She says, absolutely not. And she's lucky that I was held back because she threw something at my head. I could have pressed charges, but where I'm from, that was my reaction. You don't get to throw things at me and just sit there, okay? So this was regarding her altercation again with LaToya. Now, I want to point something else out to you guys. And I don't do this because I enjoy necessarily calling your girl Drew Sidora out, but I just kind of feel like, and I think it's been deleted. It's been deleted. I'm looking at her Instagram, her Twitter right now. And I think she deleted this tweet. If she didn't delete it, I got to find it someplace else real quick. Because in the tweet, she basically tells that good Kenya Moore to shut the F up. Okay? But I can't find it no more. So she might have deleted it. Comment in the chatterization if you happen to see that tweet. Let me know. Allie Willingham says, yes, but the issue is not Christianity. The issue is Black church culture. Yes. Say it again. Black church, well, not really just Black church culture, just church culture in general. That's what I'll say. Her stance on this prophet thing and LaToya is completely deceptive. Yes. And I'm going to, again, let me come back on the screen. I'm going to go a step further and say, I'm not going to just say Black church culture. I'm just going to say church culture in general, churchy culture in general, I should say, because I just feel like, for a lot of people, they are, they get turned away from the idea of the church. And I have a good interview coming out with Larry Reed. We talk a little bit about this as well. And I can't wait for you guys to hear that. But I think it's that whole, kind of holier than thou mentality that really turns people away. You know what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is, she is not perfect herself. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of feel like, I wish that she would sort of remove herself from that stance, because it's given a little bit of Phaedra Parks vibes to me. Early seasons Phaedra Parks. Now, Andre says LaToya threw something at Drew, but it never hit her. And see, that's my thing too. It's like she threw the wig, but I feel like she threw it over her head. Thank you for that super chat. Toya Caldwell says Drew made these last few episodes fan worthy. Shout out to the re-gift of the cat wig. I enjoyed every minute of it. And listen, okay, see, and I like this because Toya, thank you for this. Everybody has a different take on the situation. Okay. So, I appreciate that this is a different take on it from what I saw. You know what I'm saying? To me, it was just like I don't know why I was supposed to care. But some people feel like they agree with this. So, I'm not mad at it. But I guess I feel like that whole that kind of again, sometimes it's a holier than thou type situation that she comes across with, especially when she gets to talking about Delilah spirits and you this, that, and the third, and pointing fingers. It's giving me doing too much in that direction. We had another super chat come in the building. Let's see here. What was the other super chat? Oh, Latanya Alexander, thank you so much for the love. Now, hold on. Let me just state this. Because I saw some comments come through. I do want to state the fact that, I don't feel like LaToya always be right. I just feel like, Drew, I guess the problem with this whole situation is it just feels like Drew was real late with her retaliation against LaToya and Kenya for the things that they did to her way back early in episodes 4, 5, and 6, right? So by the time we had episodes 17, 18, we didn't really kind of forgot about that and moved on. You know what I'm saying? So I get that Drew was doing some get back, but I just feel like it was too far gone for us to really care about that stuff anymore. We done moved past the wigs at this point. Shamar says, I'm sorry, I hate storylines that have no real substance for the sake of filling out a season. A to the man, brother. A to the man, to the man. Oh my God, I feel you on that one, okay? Serenity, thank you so much for the super chat from Serenity Bones. We appreciate that. All right, so let's move right on along because I want to touch on this dynamic duo right here, okay? Let's talk about this dynamic duo right here. We got to talk about Tanya. We got to talk about Miss Tanya Sam and Porsha Williams. Give me 1 second. I want to pull up another file that's going to complement what I have to say in just 1 second. Okay, so when we talk about Porsha and Tanya, we get an update from Porsha when she did Watch What Happens Live. So it was asked about if Porsha kept in contact with Tanya on Watch What Happens Live. And if you guys notice, you will see Andy ask several of the cast members about this on Watch What Happens Live. I believe he also asked Kandi this when she was on there as well. But nobody had really talked to her except for Porsha. So Porsha says, yeah, I just spoke to her the other day. She was doing a project with the Brat and we're supposed to be getting together. This is what Porsha said on Watch What Happens Live. She said that she's very busy and she has a lot of things and shows that she's doing right now. Yes, we're still very cool, but she's very busy. So we're not as close as we used to be. Okay. Now, if you guys look on her IG, let me pull that up for a second right here. If you guys happen to check out Tanya Sam's Instagram, you guys will see all of the projects that she's engaged in. I felt like there was a docuseries in the works as well when I was reviewing her information. I mean, but she's got a lot of things going on, including hosting gigs, speaking engagements, anything celebrating entrepreneurship. She's on it, spotlighting Black-owned businesses. You know, she is traveling. She is still always on a vacation with her fiance, Paul, or hanging out with her family and whatnot. You guys can see all of that here. So clearly, whatever happened or didn't happen, down to the Charleston, it don't seem like it had that big of an effect on Tanya Sam's life outside of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So maybe Tanya Sam made the best move and then got herself right on off of this show and back to the business that pays her maybe the most. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't imagine that this check that she was getting as a friend was really enough to, again, make her leave her day jobs. And because she's always stated, listen, I will do this on the side because I still want to have time for the work that again pays me. Okay, it pays her, and you know it's kind of a sad thing to me because we got a glimpse of Tanya's life and lifestyle when the crew traveled to Toronto last season. And I felt like at that time, Tanya would have been a great addition to this show. And I still do. I mean, it's unfortunate, though. I wouldn't want her to come back now because I felt like, you know, every time she was on this show, I felt like somebody was they was coming for her relationship. And they knew that was her soft spot, you know. Thank you, Gail, for the super chat. We appreciate your love. So I just kind of think that, you know, Tanya was like, you know what? This ain't even worth my time or energy at this point. And I think that that's going to be a thing for people moving forward. And I think a lot of you guys might have stated this last time when we were talking about potentially recasting. You know, a lot of the money is not going to want to get into this reality game, especially with some of these reality shows, because there's always the fear that somebody's going to come out the woodworks and try to air out their dirty laundry or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So to be quite honest with you, I can't fault her for stepping back from this situation and moving the heck on. But speaking of stepping back from the situation, it's time that we get to the main event. It's time that we get to Porsha. Okay. Now, everybody in the streets is talking about whether or not Porsha is leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So why has this come up right now? Well, let's head on over. Let's first take a look at her Instagram and let's look there and see what we actually know. Let's start here. Let's start with a tweet that she made. So here we see that she has posted, "I love you, Team Porsha. Thank you for always supporting me and being with me on this journey." Okay. She says, "You are literally the best." Heart smiley face emoji, hashtag Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, so this was clue number 1 in a series of clues that are in no particular order, but this was clue number 1 for people that there was something going on with Porsha and the Real Housewives of Atlanta, specifically because this was the end of the season, okay? So we had this being numero uno, okay? So now we're going to head on over to clue number 2, okay? Which is Porsha's Instagram, okay? So if you guys happen to look here, you will see there was a post of a video that was done and edited, that was edited by Dorit Kemsley's Twitter. I'm assuming that's a Dorit Kemsley fan account. I would assume that was what it is. And so anyway, she put in the caption, she says, give me 1 second, make sure you guys can see it. She says, "Wow, 10 years. Thank you to all of my supporters. Hashtag Team Porsha loves hard and we play hard. Your love has carried me through the years. Thank you for being with me on this journey called life. Hashtag Real Housewives of Atlanta. Hashtag grand finale." Okay, so this was clue number 2 for a lot of people, that this was going to be the end of the line for Porsha Williams. So for me, when I see this, I think, it's very cryptic. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that, you can read into it or you cannot read into it. If you read into it, grand finale sounds like the end of the line, right? And I personally think that was done on purpose, to be quite honest with you. I think it was done to get fans talking and to get the speculation going about whether or not, she would be coming back next season. Now, I'm going to point to one more thing before we, really get into the discussion about what I think is really at play here. So then if you look at her bio, okay, so let's go to Porsha's bio, and we see here she's got Free Spirit, Dish Nation, actress, Go Naked Hair, Pampered by Porsha, and then she has her website, her booking and media inquiries, who to email, and then is her site, Pampered by Porsha, which is her business, one of her businesses. So we see that there. Now, what I do want to point out to you is that this happens a lot with Housewives, because a lot of times at the end of the season, what they will do is they will remove the Real Housewives of Atlanta hashtag or word from their bio in general. Now, I can't tell you whether or not she had it up there for quite some time anyway, but I do know that a lot of times Housewives will do that, particularly because they may be in the period of negotiations for their, an option or a renewal of their contract or whatever the case may be. You see this happen with a lot of Housewives across the different franchises at the end of a season. So to me, this was nothing new. It was mostly the grand finale hashtag that I think was what really got people talking. We got a super chat in the building, y'all, from Santane. who says, I hope Porsha follows suit with her good Judy, Monique Samuels, and leave on top. These ladies are not here for her and for her growth. Thank you for that super chat. And now let's address that Santine's comment first. There is something to be said for leaving at the height of your time on a particular show, a network, franchise, whatever the case may be. I often talk about, leaving a party before the lights come on. Okay. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Has anybody heard that specific either analogy or just way of thinking? Is that you should always leave a party before the lights come on. Okay. Now, the reason I say that is, okay, good. We've got a lot of yeses in the building. And the reason I say that is because, in speaking literally, if you're in the club, you're at a party, y'all know what I'm talking about. Chances are you've been drinking, you've been doing your thing, pop, lock, and dropping it, right? Now, when the lights come on, okay? When the lights come on, then you get to see what everybody really look like, okay? You get to see, it's 4 a.m. Oh, that was who I was dancing with. Oh, no. Oh, I almost went home with you. Oh, no. You leave before you have the opportunity to make bad decisions, okay? You leave when the party is at its peak. You have the people wanting more of you. Where did this person go? Where they go? Why they leave? What they do? It gives it's always been my motto. Leave before the party if I can. That's why I had to start DJing, because I don't want to be there at the whole time the party going on. And so that also transcends and translates, I guess I should say, to sometimes the work that people are doing in entertainment, or sometimes other jobs, or whatever the case may be. You leave on a high note. That's right. None of your business says you leave on a high note. You never overstay your welcome. Okay. Now, a lot of people on these shows will want to continue to ride it out because the money is good, but they're really not offering anything new to the franchise. And what happens is sometimes those people didn't really save or prepare well enough to, really establish themselves outside of whatever it is that they're doing. And so in this regard, I always say to people is that you always have an exit strategy for any and everything that you do. You always have it. So whatever it is, I don't care how good it's going right now. I don't care what you think, what it's giving you. You always have, especially if you build in a business, you always want to have an exit strategy for when you want to do something else, or when the residuals stop coming in the way that they come in. And I'm giving business advice at the moment because it's going to relate back to Porsha. So stay with me, okay? So with that being said, hopefully, if she is angling, okay, for more pay or whatever the case may be, because I feel like a lot of times this be a ploy to say, hey, let me bring something to the negotiation table. You see all this press out here. You see all these headlines out here I'm getting about people concerned about me leaving the show, so that can get the network, in a tizzy, right? So there was a rumor, and it is an alleged rumor. I've heard this from several places. I don't know if it's true, but I have heard it from several reliable sources, but I haven't heard it from the source's mouth, okay? That Candace from Real Housewives of Potomac was allegedly holding out for more pay. Now, to her credit, Candace was part of the biggest, story on Real Housewives of Potomac, right? Her and Monique, they led the season really, truly in terms of what went down with their beef. Now, for Candace, if this is true, and if she did hold out, it might not have been a bad play, but at the end of the day, it didn't work for Luann. Okay, so let me take y'all back. For those of you guys who don't watch Real Housewives of New York, there was a season where Ramona, Sonia, and Luann were holding out, and they weren't gonna film anything until they got a raise. So what ended up happening was Sonia and Ramona allegedly ended up caving and they went ahead and said, okay, let me sign on the dotted line for this. And they went ahead and started filming. Luann did not. So Luann was demoted to a friend that year. So what Luann did, which might have been smarter, was Luann negotiated a day rate, from what I'm told. Now, that day rate actually equated to quite a bit of income because she was still featured heavily within the season. But then the next season, she wisened up and she got back into the game like they wanted her to get into, and she signed on that dotted line and she was back to full time. Now, what I am told, okay, from a couple of different sources, is that production was about to keep on moving, okay, and they had gotten to filming anyway, and then allegedly she just went ahead and signed on and said, let me get this money, okay? But it is sometimes a negotiation tactic, a stall tactic to see how much more you can get. If you feel like you're worth more, Porsha obviously feels like she is. You know, this past season, it was Porsha. You know, all the ladies wanted to know what was going on, what Porsha and what she was doing in the room with Bolo. So it was all about that. So to me, you know, I feel like she's probably making a smart play. Again, it happens season after season. I don't necessarily think she's quitting. I think that if we had seen, if she were serious about quitting, I feel like she would have taken the Monique route and said, I'm out. Okay. That to me is when you know it's real. Okay. When somebody says, and not too many people, let's be clear, not too many people leave the show willingly. Okay. At least from what I hear. All right. Not too many people leave the show willingly. Now, it's a little bit murky, I think, with Nene, because I think that there were some things that were being done to sort of force her out. I don't know, or to at least lessen her role. And I think at the end of the day, it was her decision ultimately to not go down that road. But for the most part, most people don't leave this. They get gotten rid of. You know what I'm saying? Angel White says, I'm over Candace for a brat thing. She hasn't given enough to ask for a raise. That fight storyline was overplayed. I do agree that it was overplayed. I absolutely agree. But I think that for her to be a part of it, I think that she probably felt like, hey, listen, I brought a lot to this franchise. And my hope is that going into the new season of Potomac is that we can start with a clean slate. You know, we can leave everything else that has happened behind and just move forward. Because I want to go into the new season with a fresh slate, and hopefully they bring us some fresh drama. Okay. So I'm gonna try to give the cast that grace and say, hey, let's start anew, because you know, hopefully they show us something different. Bruce says Porsha signed with the talent agency, so yeah, I think her time is up with Real Housewives of Atlanta. She can go to Zeus with Nene and add Phaedra. The three of them would be a powerhouse sprinkle. I like that. Oh, Sprinkle Sheree. Thank you for the super chat. We have another one from Tanisha Wade. Porsha has taken Nene's place as the fave and even doing on things she is not going anywhere. I mean, I just kind of feel like, you know, we do know that she signed with the talent agency, which is a smart play, because ultimately, you know, that's definitely the route that you want to go. You want to start thinking long term, and you want to start thinking about what other things can I do. Then, you know, she's doing all the right things. She's an executive producer on Bravo Chat Room. So I just kind of feel like for her, she's so tied into the network right now that it would be difficult for me to see that not continuing unless she leaves the chat. Because I think that would have to go too if she left the show. I mean, I think it would. We did see online, I think it was Nene that was pictured with someone from the Zeus Network or the owner of Zeus Network. And that kind of started to fuel speculation that she may be partnering with them for something, which I do think would be smart because let me just say this. First, I have not subscribed to Zeus. It is $3.99. I'm going to make it my mission to subscribe to Zeus. The reason why is because I appreciate that it's a Black-owned network, and I want to support. So that's my mission that I want to complete likely today. I want to check out their programming and see what they've got on there, and I want to understand the process and the protocol, and I want to see what the draw is for people when they take their show to Zeus. And again, I want to support. Okay, so that's me. And I don't expect anybody else to do it for that reason, but I'm just telling you that that's what I want to do because I want to investigate. And I hope that Nene does bounce back with some new shows. I really miss Nene on TV and in the headlines. Nene makes great headlines, and she's a fascinating reality TV personality for me. So I would like to see her come back strong with something really well done and really well polished. And I just, I want to see each of them win. So we'll just have to see what happens. But quite honestly, right now, I could be wrong, but I don't think that Porsha's leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't think that she's leaving Bravo at the moment. I think that she has it really good at the network. And I think that I don't know that I would leave right now, but I would have an exit point in my mind, and I would be working in silence in other different directions so that when I was ready to pull the trigger, I can actually leave on my own and pursue those other opportunities. So to me, if she is planning to leave, I think she's in the best position to do so. But I just feel like hey, Monica. I don't know if I see it yet. So we'll see. We'll see. And again, I encourage us all, when we go into new seasons of a new show, we have Potomac coming up, we got Beverly Hills and New York. I'm trying to wipe the slate clean. Let's go into it and let's see what they're going to give us. And we judge it based on what they give us this current season, just because I feel like we'll all feel better that way. Nikki T, can we support positive platforms? I am all for it. I'm all for it. All right, guys. So that's the news that we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in and for chatting with me. I really, really appreciate every single comment. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate your perspectives. I appreciate your opinions. I appreciate just all the support that you guys show in the comment section as well. Even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, or even if you do agree with what I'm saying, I still appreciate it. Again, I'd like to remind you guys, I started this channel because I just wanted a community of people that I could talk about these shows with, and I have finally found that. So thank you so much for being in this tribe with me. I appreciate it. I cannot tell you that. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. With that being said, guys, we will catch you in the next video.